The book of Genesis is the first book of the Bible and is divided into two parts, the primeval history and the patriarchal history. It is considered one of the most important books of the Bible as it lays the foundation for the entire biblical narrative. The word Genesis means origin, and the book tells the story of the creation of the world and the beginning of humanity. The primeval history spans from chapters 1 to 11 and covers the first 2,000 years of human history. It starts with the well-known creation story in which God creates the world and all living creatures in 6 days. On the seventh day, God rests and declares the day holy. This is where the concept of the Sabbath originates. In the Garden of Eden, God places the first human beings, Adam and Eve, and tells them not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. However, they are tempted by the serpent and disobey God's command, leading to their expulsion from the garden. This event is known as the fall of man and is considered the origin of sin and suffering in the world. The next significant event in the primeval history is the story of Cain and Abel, the sons of Adam and Eve. Out of jealousy, Cain kills his brother Abel, and this is the first act of violence recorded in the Bible. God punishes Cain by making him a restless wanderer, but also promises to protect him from anyone who may seek to harm him. The story of Cain and Abel highlights the destructive power of sin and its consequences. As humanity begins to populate the earth, wickedness becomes widespread, and God sees that the thoughts and intentions of humans' hearts are continuously evil. This leads to the Great Flood, which destroys all living creatures except for Noah, his family, and 2 of every kind of animal. God makes a covenant with Noah never to flood the earth again and establishes the rainbow as a sign of the covenant. After the flood, the Tower of Babel is built, and it symbolizes humanity's rebellion against God. The people attempt to build a tower that reaches the heavens, but God confuses their languages, and they scatter across the earth. This event is believed to be the origin of different languages and cultures. The second part of the book of Genesis, the patriarchal history, follows the lineage of Abraham and his descendants. It starts with God's call to Abraham to leave his homeland and go to a land that God will show him. God makes a covenant with Abraham, promising him descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and a land for his people. Abraham has 2 sons, Ishmael and Isaac, but it is through Isaac, the son of his wife Sarah, that God's covenant is fulfilled. The story continues with Abraham's grandson Jacob, who is renamed Israel after wrestling with an angel. Jacob has 12 sons, and they become the 12 tribes of Israel. Joseph, one of Jacob's sons, is sold into slavery by his brothers, but eventually rises to power in Egypt. His ability to interpret dreams leads to him becoming the second most powerful man in Egypt, and he saves his family and the entire land from a devastating famine. The book of Genesis concludes with the story of how Jacob's descendants, the Israelites, ended up in Egypt. This sets the stage for the following books of the Bible, which tell the story of their time in slavery and their eventual exodus to the Promised Land. Throughout the book of Genesis, God is depicted as a powerful and just God who creates the world and everything in it. He maintains a relationship with humanity, often intervening in their lives to guide and punish them. The book also explores themes of good and evil, obedience and disobedience, and the consequences of both. The book of Genesis is crucial because it lays the foundation for the rest of the Bible. It sets up the stage for the relationship between God and humanity and establishes the concept of sin and redemption that runs throughout the biblical narrative. It also introduces important characters.